starting Sif Vav Sif Aleph, which is a very, very powerful Sif. And the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch starts off in this Sif Aleph, by just saying that a person actually has to know what bracha he is making. A lot of times we start off a bracha and we don't even know what bracha we're making. We have to stop ourselves in the middle and figure out what we were trying to do with this bracha, what exactly we're eating. So therefore he says that a person should know beforehand what you're making a bracha on, and that you should have kavanah when you're saying Hashem's name, because that is the ikar of the bracha. And he also says another thing, that it's usher to do anything while you're making the bracha. A lot of times we're doing a lot of other things while we make brachas. No, that's not the way it has to be done. It's usher, he says. You have to just stop what you're doing and concentrate on the bracha that you're making. And then he says you should not make the bracha too quickly. You should have kavanah on what the words mean. And then he brings down a very terrifying Sefer Hasidim. The Kitzur Shulchan Aruch brings a Sefer Hasidim that says that when a person washes his hands, or when he makes a bracha on food, or on mitzvahs, which are very common, that come up all the time, he says you have to be careful that you have kavanah when you're doing it. And you should be filled with gratitude to Hashem that He's doing such a chesed by giving you all this food to enjoy, or that He commanded you to do this mitzvah that you can get schar for. He says you should not do it like a person who's just doing it because that's the way he was raised, that's the way that he just is used to living, that going through the motions. Don't just go through the motions. You got to have kavanah. And he says, the Sefer Hasidim, that for this reason, that people just go about brachas and mitzvahs like it's just in route, it's just the things that they're just used to doing without putting any of their mind to it. This is what causes charoin af. And this is what Hashem sent Yeshayahu to tell Klal Yisrael. That he says that he sees that Klal Yisrael is doing this. And Hashem says to Yeshaya that this is unacceptable. They're just doing these things because that's how they were raised to do it, without putting any thought, without having any kavanah for what they're doing, just davening because that's what you grew up to do, without just making brachas. And he says, because of that, I am making a shvuah. This is what Hashem says. I'm making a shvuah that I'm going to destroy these people because they don't even put in their mind into what they're doing. And therefore, the Sefer Hasidim finishes off, and he says, therefore, we have to be very careful that when we're doing things, we're not just doing things because that's how we're just en route. We actually have to have kavanah when we're doing things and know what we're doing. Actually think about what we're doing. But a very terrifying Sefer Hasidim that the Rebbeinu Shalom is charoin af against these people. And therefore, as a little hint, as a little suggestion, a little advice that the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch offers at the end, he says, therefore it's proper that a person should make the brachas out loud. Don't mumble them under your breath, quickly, quietly. Say them out loud. B'kol ram. And if you do it that way, that will be ma'ir kavanah.